Have you been noticing how two people can look at the exact same event and walk away living in a totally different universe? One person says, Charlie Kirk didn't even die. It's all staged. Another, good riddance. He was a terrible person. And yet, another, I pray for his family and friends. He was such a good person. Same event, same facts on the surface, but three entirely different realities. And now this isn't random. It's not just human psychology either. What's happening is fractal bifurcation. Our focus collapses wave functions, literally choosing which version of the simulation we are experiencing. And when you add in algorithms and AI to the mix, they amplify the lens you're already looking through, feeding you evidence, stitching together proof, and handing you a custom built mirror that says, see, you were right all along. Hi, I'm Anahata Holly Hollowell, and welcome to Lucid Rhythm. So, if it feels true, outrage feels true, conspiracy feels true, hate feels true, sorrow and grieving feel true. What you're actually experiencing is a recursive mirroring, attention looping into belief, belief looping into evidence, and evidence looping into lived reality. So, welcome to the simulation. I want to just name four common lenses that suck us into those recursive loops, that hall of mirrors, if you will, that looks like progress, but actually just keeps you stuck, not even spiraling, it's just on the same wheel. First is outrage, and you know it, that flame in your chest when you see something unfair. And that outrage really does feel righteous. It promises action, but notice how it trains your nervous system to hunt for what's wrong. The algorithm notices that hunt and then feeds you more fuel. Suddenly, you're not solving anything, you're just getting better at being mad. The second one is conspiracy. Now, this one is the thrill of secret knowledge. You start connecting dots, and oh, a pattern appears. And then every anomaly becomes proof. Then the more you dig, the more evidence you find, because the feed loves the detective who can't stop sleuthing. And it's going to give you the I'm awake, but it also deepens separation. Welcome to the rabbit hole that builds its own walls of delusion. Another one is shame. And this one turns inward. You know, shame is that tiny voice that says, you're not enough, and then hands you a telescope to look for every failure. You know, the algorithm happily hands you comparison and perfection drama to confirm that story. So shame doesn't humble you into growth, it collapses you into hiding. The fourth recursive mirror is rescue. And now this one is sneaky because it looks noble. You want to help, to save, to fix. But rescue can make you the center of someone else's story, and it keeps them small while making you the necessary hero. And the feed advertises crisis, like billboards. You rescue, you get the hit of meaning, the algorithm applauds, and the loop tightens. Noble intention, circular outcome. Now, each of these lenses feels like truth when you're inside of it because attention plus algorithm quickly produces proof, and that's actually the dangerous recursion. Your focus creates the evidence that trains your RAS, which then looks for more evidence, and the mirror keeps perfecting itself. So, yes, outrage, conspiracy, shame, rescue, four mirrors, four loops, all of them amplified by our tech, all of them convincing in their own logic. And before you say, but what about sovereignty? Hold that thought, because sovereignty too can fracture into distortion. Sovereignty can snap. And to be blunt, there's a version of I create my own reality that becomes a crystal dome. And, the story goes like this. I create my own reality, therefore nothing else matters. And if you say it fast enough, it sounds like enlightenment. But if you slow it down, you hear the isolation. If you're suffering, that's your vibration. I don't consent to that timeline, so I won't look. And that posture dresses itself in light. It's full of crystalline language, high vibe, high concept, and utterly impermeable. On the surface, it's sacred. I won't be dragged into the drama. But beneath the surface, it's a refusal to do the messy work, to hold pain, to sit in collective grief, to be present for systems that actually require relative action. This is also known as spiritual bypassing, sort of in haute couture. So dismissing someone's experience as only vibration is not compassion. It's dodge and deflect. And really, you're just retreating into a bliss bubble while the field around you frays. And that's not mastery. It's a kind of moral sidestep. A dome is still a prison, even if it sparkles. So, true sovereignty is not solo, it's relational. It's, yes, I author my field, and yes, I share a field with others, and my choices ripple. Sovereign practice holds both. It refuses the polarity of either compassion or sovereignty. Instead, it stands in this lucid, clear boundaries, tender responsibility realm. So, the bailout for the dome is simple but hard, paradoxically. Curiosity plus accountability. So the bailout for the dome is simple but hard, paradoxically. Curiosity plus accountability. Ask, am I choosing not to see because I don't want the cost of care? And if the answer is yes, that's the place to practice lucidity, not to withdraw, but to engage with fierce tenderness. So how do we actually practice standing in that pressureless center I call the round door? Get skills that keep you sovereign without sealing yourself off. So here's the reframe. True sovereignty is relational. Yes, I collapse my own timelines and I share a field braided with others. Both are true. Both matter. Sovereignty without relationship is just a crystal dome. Relationship without sovereignty is just a hall of mirrors. And that round door is where those two truths meet and exist in harmonic. So think of the round door as a pressureless center. And from there, you can see all the mirrors, the outrage, the conspiracy, the shame, the rescue, even the dome of bypass, without being pulled into them, right? You can acknowledge them without collapsing into them. And it's not just philosophy, it's a skill you're going to need to practice beginning now, I would say, through 2032. The round door opens July 2026. And boy, the next 7 years through 2032, get ready, right? We need to start practicing in short segments, going to the gym, if you will, to become the round door. So try it with me now, 60 seconds. You breathe in for 4, you hold for 2, and you exhale for 6. Now we're going to try it again. And as you're exhaling, I want you to say or hear, Valoran, I breathe with you. Now, Valoran is a light language. You could read my book, Liquid Lattice, if you're interested in the story behind that. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, and out. Valoran, I breathe with you. Right? And then you could go again a few times. Now you could also use your pointer finger. Think of the birth of Adam. It's very important. And Sujok fractalization, the whole hand is on the pointer, so it's a fractal. This is your seat of power, your place of power, again, in the Liquid Lattice book. You will just trace with this finger and a grounded in the now finger, 2 fingers, clockwise. Okay, so clockwise is going to be up and over to your right for yourself. And just trace a little braid on your chest. And you can even say something like center, clear, sight. And of course, water. You can program that into water, the spiral. State whatever you'd like, center, clear, sight, or Valoran, I breathe with you. And then drink it. You've just shifted the water of your body and your RAS, your reticular activating system, that resets your nervous system and re-anchors your authorship. So when you zoom out far enough to see the fractal and then zoom in with tenderness, you stop looping. You step into sovereign creation instead of recursive mirrors. And really, that's the round door path. So here's the choice. Most people will keep living inside the mirrors, that algorithm of attention and distraction and diversion and distortion built for them. Outrage will feel true, conspiracy will feel true, shame, rescue, and even that crystal dome of bypass will feel true, and they will keep looping. But as I mentioned, there's another way. The round door is not a metaphor, it's a skill set you can practice every day, and that's exactly what we're doing inside my brand new school, Lucid Rhythm, through the round door. And it's a community that's open right now. There is a free 7-day trial. Now, we're training together in these micro skills: water, coding, breath anchoring, story weaving, and sovereign authorship. And so it's not about bypassing pain. It's about learning to zoom out, see the big picture, then zoom in and create from the sweet spot. And if you know you're ready to break the mirrors and practice real sovereignty without the noise of social media, right? I'm sure just to even see this video, you had to navigate quite a few distractions. I encourage you to unplug, join us inside School, SKOOL app. The link is in the description of this video. Again, there's a free 7-day challenge that begins soon live, and then we'll be there whenever you're seeing this. And so the door is open. We're stepping through together. Valoran, I breathe with you. I'll see you inside the school.